Power 107.5, Columbus' #1 station for hip-hop and R&B. You tuned in to any given Sunday, the only show that's for you, by you, and we cannot do the show without you. We're glad that you are tuned in for this segment of the show. I'm actually excited about this segment because it's a chance for us to really be educated. It's what Burrs always calls a teachable moment.
Everything is a teachable moment if you take the time and learn.
Yes, teachable moment. So if you look at what's going on across the world right now, especially on CNN, they've been talking a lot about the civil war that has destabilized Syria and has created an opening for a militant group called ISIS. And ever since 9/11, we've seen that Muslims and that the religion of Islam pretty much has been demonized in a sense. And so the fact is, with lack of education, unless you are educated about their religion and about their stance, you really don't know. So this is an opportunity for us to bring in somebody who has a great campaign that really we've seen all across the city of Columbus, and his name is Motez. How you doing, Motez?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Glad to have you here, man. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, man, tell people a little bit about yourself. Where you're from and all that kind of stuff. Give us some information about Motez.
All right. So I'm originally from Egypt.
Okay.
Came to the U.S. I'm a citizen. I study graphic design, and so now I'm working as a freelancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing the whole designing for Ask a Muslim, and then later on I became part of it. I started going out and telling people what Islam is and all that, just because of the networking that I did through them. And I really, really enjoy the work, and I think it's very, very rewarding.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to tell people what you actually believe in, because it's, like you said, it's like completely demonized.
Yeah. In terms of the campaign, I know SP was saying that he's seen billboards, that say really, really big, Ask a Muslim.
Right.
Whose idea was it to create these billboards, Ask a Muslim?
I'm not sure whose idea it was. We started out as like maybe 10 people,
Wow.
and now we're expanded. We even have like a branch in Dayton too. We're probably going to expand into more areas probably this year.
Yeah.
So our campaign, basically what we wanted people to know is, don't get your information from people who aren't necessarily Muslim. Like if they're not practicing, they might not give you the best, info.
So when you talk about practicing,
Right.
tell us what that means exactly.
So basically, a Muslim is someone who believes in one God, and believes that it's the same message of worshiping one God. That's been what Islam is for eons, since the beginning of time. Like
right.
We believe that Islam existed way before the Prophet Mohammed came down. He didn't come before he was born and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we're telling people that Islam is that same message throughout.
Right.
And if you want to know what Islam is, just ask Muslims. Ask a Muslim. Our group is askamuslim.com. You can ask us any type of questions you have. And that's basically, we're trying to dispel a whole bunch of myths, like violence, all sorts of things about women, all that stuff.
That's what I was going to ask you, because
Right.
you talk about Muslim, you talk about Islam. Are the militant group ISIS, are they Muslim?
Anyone who calls himself a Muslim, no one's allowed to say they're not a Muslim or not. It's everyone believes in their own religion, but some scholars would call them not Muslims. I don't know. I'm not a scholar. I wouldn't be able to give you a good answer.
Right.
But they're definitely doing things that are clearly not Islamic at
Okay.
all. Like they're clearly against the teachings. They're clearly against the Quran.
So you guys, so Islam and Muslims are not about killing dozens of people
Right.
and going through towns and pillaging and raping. That's not what you guys are about.
Exactly. We're not about that at all.
And when you're out and talking to people, is it hard for you to defend that when the news is just showing so much of that as a part of your religion?
Right, and it's very, it's a horrible thing. Just imagine being put in the shoes of someone, on a daily basis, walking around.
Yeah.
And then everyone just assumes that that's what they do, right? That's what their belief says, and it's not really any of our fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's just people's ignorance. Like they've never researched what Islam is. They don't even know the very basics of it, which is understandable because no one really speaks about it.
Yeah.
So it's up to us to at least tell people, what the basics are, show people that we're everyday normal people, all that stuff.
So what's the biggest misconception? Like, what's the biggest stereotype that Muslims get?
Obviously the whole violence thing, especially with ISIS. There are so many different things, like women are second-class citizens. That's completely not true. It's actually the other way around. So many different things. People don't even know that we worship the same God as Christians. Like we worship the Father, right? So we worship the one God who created everything. People don't even know that. We think we worship Allah, which is a separate thing, but Allah is actually the Arabic word for God. It's not even like if you open a Bible in Arabic, you'll find the word Allah used there to refer to God. Like so many different misconceptions about the basics, you know.
So in terms of your campaigns, I mean, what are you guys doing every week to kind of go out and talk to people about the true, Muslim, the true Islam?
Right. So what we do is we have a tent on High and Broad. It's what we do is we just have like banners that say "Ask a Muslim," and people come and approach us. We've had a lot of cooperative people. We've had people who aren't so cooperative. But at the end of the day, we at least educate everyone. We tell them the basics, and a lot of people come back. You come out of it with a completely changed mind on what Muslims do.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm choking.
Oh yeah, we can get that.
Now, one thing that really jumped out at me, and how I know about you guys is your billboard that said Jesus is a Muslim. Can you explain where the inspiration came for that?
Yeah,
and
please.
Just talk about the reactions that you've gotten from that.
Right. Yeah. That one. So that one we did when in like our early stages. We weren't exactly like well established in our marketing. So we decided, we wanted to tell people that Islam is very close to the other religions. Like imagine like the major difference between Islam and Christianity has to do with Jesus. So we believe that Jesus never died. We believe that he's still alive and he's going to come back at the end of the world and he's going to lead everyone, right? And then he's going to, kill the Antichrist and then all that stuff. But we believe that Jesus is, like, according to Islam, according to what the definition of a Muslim is, we believe that he fits into that category. Obviously, we didn't mean any disrespect at all, but I mean, it was completely misunderstood and rightfully so. I mean, I completely understand it now that I think about it.
When you look back at that, do you feel like that wasn't probably a good idea?
No, it was awful. No, we got so many death threats. We got a lot of. We got our website hacked.
Wow.
So many different things. Yeah.
You know what? That's funny, man. So who hacked it? Well, I'm assuming probably some.
That's not funny.
That's just different. You know
I guess what's funny. And I don't want to speak for you, but what's funny to me, what makes me funny is what makes it funny to me is because you didn't mean any harm.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You guys just put your views on a billboard, and of course with no explanation.
Right.
And so of course people are going to take it to a halt, and they're going to explain it themselves and paint you guys as the bad folks. But I mean, it's good to hear.
Right. And obviously, like, I mean, that's the point of Asking Muslim. We're trying to get people's attention to ask us questions. Like, maybe it would have sounded better if we said, "Did you know that we believe that he is a Muslim?" Right.
Right.
Something. I mean, a lot of people don't know what.
I think it was fine how it was.
It definitely got the shock factor.
Because you got the attention.
You got the shock factor. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was saying, I mean, people don't even know that we have Jesus in Islam. Like, he's a very, very big part of Islam, actually. He's like the last prophet before Prophet Mohammed. We believe in him as much as we believe in Muhammad and all the other prophets. So it's, I mean.
So pretty much what you're saying is that this whole campaign is to dispel a lot of the myths that people may have about Islam and about the religion.
Right.
At the end of the day, what are some of the things that you feel people just write off about you? Because I think sometimes what happens is with you being a Muslim, I mean, you have a very Arabic name, so people automatically assume certain things about your name,
right?
Or even when they see you, may assume things about you. And so, how is it that you change people's views, or you can change their outlook on who you are as a person? Because honestly, the way the news makes it seem is that everybody that has an Arabic name or that comes from the Middle Eastern area or even Egypt may be a terrorist.
Right.
So how are you combating that personally in your own life, and is that frustrating to you?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, like, especially if you're a Muslim, you have to work extra hard on proving to people that you're not, like, a terrorist or whatnot. You have to, like, be super nice. You have to do all sorts of things. You have to make sure what you like tell people on the phone or text them, all sorts of stuff. And airports are definitely difficult.
I bet.
But I mean, like, like, for example, I grew my beard very, very long, especially when the whole ISIS thing started. Like, I was telling people, like, hey, like, one of our Ask Muslim campaigns was like, terrorism is not genetic. Like, you can't look like a terrorist.
Wow.
Like, anyone could be a terrorist, right? Someone's grandma could be a terrorist. So you can't. It's not a genetic thing. Like, if you see someone with a very, very long beard and he's Arabic looking and all that, don't assume anything about him. So we have to like look extra Muslim and act extra Muslim to tell people that this isn't what it is. Right?
Yeah. Well, how can people get involved with your campaign? How can they find out more about it? Tell us about that a little bit.
I mean, the best thing anyone could do is just ask us as much questions as possible, because like we know that people have questions, right? That no one knows everything about everything, and we want to make sure that you before you judge, before you insult, before you think, before you do anything, we want you to make your own opinion.
Yeah.
So just find out what Islam is from the source, from Muslims, right? Don't find out from whatever news station, whatever that. Just ask Muslims, askamuslim.com, that's our website. Type Ask a Muslim on Google, we're the first. So just ask us as much questions as possible. That's the best thing you can do.
Definitely. Motiz, thank you for coming in, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Listen, if you want to get some more information about what Motiz is doing in his movement, go to his website, askamuslim.com, right?
All right, yeah.
Make sure you guys check it out. Listen, you're tuned in to Any Given Sunday. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back pretty soon.